Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing the stub axle, also known as a spindle, on a Subaru Brumby. This is an 89 model. Because you can't buy these new, well, not that I've found anywhere new anyway, I've got two from a wrecker's. The other side's good. This side is loose onto the rear CV joint. I've got two so I can pick which one has the tighter spline. When I'm driving over 80 k's, sounds like there's a helicopter following me, which would be that CV joint spinning off center. Now before jacking it up, I'm going to loosen the wheel nuts and the center nut, because once you jack it up, the wheel will just spin and it's too hard to undo anything. I have to get this pin out first. Now that's out. That's a 36mm socket. Just loosen that enough so it doesn't get caught up anywhere. Now I can jack it up. Put a stand under there. If this one gets caught, it's okay, it'll come off when you get the axle out. You need to find the pin on the end of the CV. It's just there. Get a punch. This is a pin punch, it's blunt on the end. Tap that out. And because my punch is not long enough, I've got this old electrical screwdriver that I ground the tip off. It was broken, so it didn't matter. It gets it out the rest of the way. Don't lose that, you'll need it. Now these CVs do not come off the end of the shaft. They only just don't make it. So you need to lower the diff to get that little bit of extra clearance. You have to undo the nuts on the brackets on both sides here. And there's one at the upper front of the diff center. It's easy to knock that pin out while the diff is still in place. Going to loosen off both of these ones first. I'm only loosening them, I'm not taking them all the way off. Just going until the nut is about the end of that bolt there, just so it's flush level. I'll do the same on the other side. That one's about the same. Now I'm going to undo the front of the diff, which is this bolt up here. There's a nut on this side, so you have to hold one side while you undo the other side. otherwise the bolt just turns. Now this bolt should just pull straight out, but it never does. You've got to wiggle it and hold the diff up. Spin it around a bit. There it is. It only goes in one way because of the narrow down bit. Now I have to undo the back brackets to get it the rest of the way out. Because this diff is not very heavy, you can just hold it up with your hand. Now when you're letting it down, don't let it come back at all, or the shaft will come out of the gearbox. And of course it's stuck on that side. Oh, here it comes. Okay. So as it came down, I pushed forward. Need that shaft to stay in there or the gearbox oil will start leaking out. And this should just come off because it's so loose. Just like that. Now I need to find which one of these ones fit in here the best. Make sure you do it the right way around so the holes line up. That one seems pretty tight. Both of those seem pretty tight. Both good ones. It's good, gives me a spare. Now this one has adjustable rear brakes, which is just here somewhere. There. That there is to adjust the rear brakes. I'll show you what it looks like on one that does not have adjustable rear brakes. This is also an 89 model Brumby, but does not have adjustable rear brakes. And just crawl underneath here. So there's the inner back brake. There's nothing there. And on the opposite side, it's the same. There's no adjustment on either side. Now a 6mm spanner fits on this rather nicely. See if that's enough to get the drum off. Yep. Now be careful, there will be brake dust in here. Well, that one's not too bad, but there is some in there still. That's what it looks like with the brake drum removed. Now I've got a piece of wood so the end of the shaft doesn't get damaged, and a mallet to bash it out with. Guys, this old one. See how loose that is? Plenty of play there, so that's not good. I do plan on changing these bearings soon, so if you want to see that, you'll have to keep an eye out for that video. Now these ones came with their nuts and the washer bits, so I'll use them ones. And because I've got access to the bearings, even though I plan on changing them soon, I'm just going to squirt a bit of grease in there. And I just put some on the shaft as well. Now that should just tap straight in. They usually go in easier than they come out. And don't blow the dust out of these things, it does have asbestos in it. Just do it carefully, try not to create too much dust. At the moment I'm just cleaning up where the seal sits. There's not a lot of dust in this. Just tip it out. And when you tighten this up, it'll pull the shaft through the rest of the way and push the bearings in how they're supposed to be sitting. I'm just going to sit the wheel on here with the nuts on, just to give me a bit more leverage so I can tighten that nut up a little bit. And I still need to adjust the brake because I loosened this one off. At the moment I'm just trying to get the drum to push against them bearings so it sits into its proper place. That nut is nowhere near tight enough yet. I'm just going to tighten this a little bit. Probably should have wrote down how many clicks I'd done. Can't remember. Can't even get it on there now. Okay, just done it up about 5 clicks. That's 6 clicks now. See how that's loose at the moment? That's because it's not tight yet. Now I need to get this CV back on to that shaft and get the hole in the CV to line up with the hole in the shaft. Might have to put something under the diff to lift it up. I'm just trying to get the diff up high enough so I can get the tyre underneath so I can get that shaft on. You have to make sure that them holes are going to line up. Because if they don't line up, you won't get the pin through. You want that pin to sit about even on both sides. Now that pin's back in place to put the diff back in. Because the diff wants to be a problem today, I'm going to use a little jack to help me lift it up. It's probably caught on the CVs not wanting to contract. If you're using a jack, just keep an eye on it. It nearly fell off the jack just then. Getting that nut started. Now get the other side on. Both the back ones are on. I just have to get that front one in. Back ones are not tight yet. Front bolts through. The nut got caught up inside the socket, so I'll get that out when I tighten it back up. Nice and tight. Now I just have to tighten these back ones. It's not fully tight yet. I want to tighten the other side first. Okay, that side's nice and tight. Now for this side. Now that's tight. Jack out of the way. We don't need to hold the diff up with that anymore. I'm going to put the wheel back on. Now that is still loose because that nut is loose. That's as tight as I can get it off the ground. So I'll let it down on the ground. That'll stop the wheel from turning, which also stops the axle from turning. I nearly let it down without taking the stand out. So don't forget to take your stand out. This nut needs to be at 296 Newton meters of torque, but as long as you're around 200 you should be fine. It does get a pin through it as well. Remember, while you're doing this, you'll be pulling that axle into position as well as tightening it. Now I have to find the hole to put the pin through. Just through the edge of it there. Always go that little bit tighter rather than loosen and have it come off. That looks about right. A little bit more. That looks good. Try and put new pins where you can. This pin's a little bit too long, so I'm going to cut it down. Cut off some of that overhang so it doesn't hang out so far that if someone walks past it cuts their leg. Now I'm just going to jack it back up to make sure that that wobble has gone. Okay, so the wheel's off the ground. And the only wobble that's there is because I need to change them wheel bearings. But I don't have the new wheel bearings at the moment. I just wanted to fix that horrible noise from the loose joint. Wheel bearings are for another video. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Don't do what I just did. I forgot to tighten the wheel nuts and remembered it while I was having a shower. Not the best time to remember to do it. That's why this part has a different shirt and different pants on. And now that's done.